Welcome everyone and Happy New Year. This is Box News, my first episode of 2011. I'm basically just going to talk about the top 10 of 2010 and the top 11 games to look forward to in 2011. It was very difficult for me to narrow down 10 games that definitely stood out in 2010, but here's my list, and I hope I don't offend too many of you out there, which I am assuming that I will, because no one's ever really happy with my list ever. But this is my list. Make your own if you don't like it. Starting off at number 10, the game Epic Mickey for the Nintendo Wii. Really fun game. I'm working on a review for it right now, so be sure to check that out. Number 9, Fallout New Vegas. Also working on a review for that, so check that out. Number 8 is Fable 3. Number 7, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Number 6, God of War 3. Number 5, Mass Effect 2. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops. Number 3, Halo Reach. Number 2, Heavy Rain. And number 1, Red Dead Redemption. A lot of people are upset, I'm sure now, listening, that Call of Duty was number 4. And Halo Reach was number 3. So obviously I feel stronger towards Halo Reach than I do Call of Duty. Sorry. I feel there's more customization, more gameplay, and more variety in Reach over Black Ops. Just my opinion. Plus it's easier for me to get into Reach than it is Black Ops, just because of the competitiveness. And Heavy Rain, it was a fantastic game. One of my early reviews. Go back and check it out. It's just so much new gameplay, so much new stuff that I just loved it. The storytelling, everything about it is fantastic. And Red Dead Redemption, if you've played it, you know why it was the number 1 game of the year. Some close calls that I wanted to have on the list, but I couldn't because I just wanted to do a top 10, were Dance Central, Alan Wake, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Just Cause 2, Crackdown 2, Bioshock 2, Rock Band 3, and Final Fantasy 13. Those are all close calls, stuff that I would, if they would all be tied at 11 or in some sort of way if I could have an 11th one. So be sure to check those games out as well. Those are fantastic games, and these are the highlighted games of 2010. If you can get your hands on any one of these, you're going to have a great time. I'm going to talk about some things that I'm looking forward to in 2011 here real quick. Some close calls off the bat. Here's some games to look forward to. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Killzone 3, Resistance 3, Mortal Kombat, and Driver San Francisco. Those are just a few to look forward to in 2011, but here are my 11 picks that I personally am looking forward to. Number 11 is Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. If you've played a Lego game, make sure you play the Lego Star Wars games, as those are the most fun. And this one is off the Clone Wars, the anime series, so it should be really good, hopefully. Number 10, revamping the Twisted Metal series with Twisted Metal. They're relaunching it. Number 9, True Crime Hong Kong. They're bringing back True Crime. I hope it's as good as the old ones. If not, 10 times better. Hopefully, 10 times better. Fear 3, L.A. Noire, if that's how you pronounce it. Crisis 2, Homefront. Number 4 is Dragon Age 2. Number 3 is Bulletstorm, which we just found out comes out a month sooner than expected, and it also comes with a beta to your Gears of War 3. Let's see, Little Big Planet 2 at number 2, and Dead Space 2. So be on the lookout for those. Those are 11 games to look forward to in 2011. And another one, if it does end up coming out in 2011, is Gears of War 3. We don't know for a fact, but if it does, that's definitely one I'm looking forward to. So we'll see if that comes out. At this time, I want to give a shout out to someone who's trying to launch his own review website. Definitely check it out. His gamer tag, I hope he doesn't get mad for me throwing it out there, but I'm not shooting his name out there. So his gamer tag is Smoke Your Buds on Xbox Live. He also, well, I'm sure he can't get mad because it's on his website. Go to his website. You can check out all his reviews. He's going to be launching a bunch of new stuff in 2011. A lot of really cool things. It's www.smokeyajtv.webs.com. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen for everyone to read. So once again, it's smokeyajtv.webs.com. Check out his stuff, and he's probably got a link to his YouTube and everything. Subscribe, tell your friends. Help this kid out. He's really good at what he does. And of course, subscribe to my channel to learn more about him and learn more about myself, and just help everyone out. It's year of caring, 2011. New goals, new things to look forward to. So give him a shout out. Let him know I sent you. Maybe I'll have a prize for you. He's going to open up a store or whatnot, sell some merch. So support him, what he's doing. Support me. Support everyone. But thank you again. This was now episode 71 of Box News, and Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you all had a safe and happy holiday, and look forward to, look ahead. We got new videos coming out very soon, so keep watching. Season 3 of Box News is coming soon. We're doing right now interviews for a new co-host, so email now, message now, do anything it takes. Send videos, do anything you can, and maybe I'll pick you to be my new co-host. Season 3 of Box News is coming soon. This has been an emergency broadcast brought to you by the Box News Network and True Productions. And thank you for joining us tonight on this season premiere of Box News. Sorry for the delay. I've been busy for a while trying to come up with a new format for the show and just the way I approach things. So I hope you enjoy the show tonight. This is the Season 3 premiere of Box News, episode number 72 for those who are still keeping track. So thank you for joining us tonight. We got a lot of great things in store for you. We got 2 new segments that we're going to be introducing each week. More than likely more to come each time. We're going to start off with Brian's music segment, which we'll be doing every episode, or trying to, and then we'll go into Aaron's game segment, which we'll be trying to do every episode as well, and then obviously Game of the Week, which has been featured before in every episode prior to this one. So now let's take it over to B and have him talk about his segment and what will be happening with that.
What up, y'all? It's B for Box News. I'm here to tell you guys that we're going to be doing a little segment on local music in the areas of Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor, and in Michigan. Just kind of supporting some of the local acts, like my boy HP, Mr. Chia, Black Money, Links Connect, my boys from the Sugar People, T Vance and his beats. We're just going to be trying to come with something new every week. Maybe do some stuff on some different places where hip hop and different music are playing. So come in and tune in with us and check out our new stuff and see how we're doing. And we're just going to come out with some new songs every week and see what you like. Please comment on our stuff and let us know what you think about the music. Peace.
Well, thanks a lot, Brian, for that. That's going to be an awesome segment. I can't wait to hear more of the local scene. I just moved across state, so I'm really anxious to hear what music we have in the area, as I'm new to this area, and I love all music, I love all culture, so I can't wait to hear what kind of music we're going to be having in this segment, and I can't wait to get my hands on some free music too. Hopefully we can get you guys some free music if you listen how. So at this time, let's go into the arcade and board game segment that we'll be introducing. Let's take it over to Paperclip, and he's going to tell us about his new segment that will be airing every week.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Paperclip here, bringing you some of the new segments in Season 3 of Box News. I'm here with Toby, and we are going to be introducing these to you. So I will be bringing you the best and the worst of Xbox Live Arcade. So probably more of the worst of Xbox Live Arcade. And then I'll be bringing you into a cardboard addiction with board games. And not the stupid games you played with your family. No Scrabble, no Life. I'm sorry for all you Life fans out there, alright? Well, anyway, we look forward to seeing you, so until then.
And thanks for that. That was sweet. Basically, these two segments that you've just seen so far are going to be featured every episode, or try to be featured some nature in every episode, and we'll talk briefly about that. They're going to be the experts on that, obviously. And I'll just keep trying to be expert or amateur expert. No, screw it. I am the expert on games. I play a lot of them, enough of them. And you can find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. The description will have my gamer tag and network tag if you want to add me. And I play a lot of games, a lot of my free time. So go check me out there. I know what I'm talking about, or at least, like I said, try to know. I play a lot of games, so I do know what I'm talking about. So let's now segue into our game of the week, which is Kinect, the device, the Kinect sensor, and Kinect Adventures, which comes with the bundle. Let's see what we had to say about that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game of the week this week is Kinect Adventures, which is featured with the Kinect sensor when you buy it. It's free.
You have to play it.
So Microsoft actually gives something free away, but technically it's not free because you are paying $150 for the device.
Included in the price.
Yeah, and so it's included. It's like getting the Wii and getting Wii Sports, but Kinect has Adventures. Basically, we're going to talk about the Kinect itself briefly, and then the Kinect game. We recently played it, and just tell you our thoughts, whether it's worth $150 or not. First thoughts, it's very childish, but at the same time, it's great for parties. That was my first reaction from it. It's a simple game to pick up and learn. You stand in front of a camera, much like we're doing now. You wave at it, and it recognizes your wave. There's mini games in it that you play. There's 5 total. One of the games is like a dodgeball game where you hit a dodgeball at some targets and you get points, and you do it in a allotted amount of time, and then you have time challenges and so on and so forth. Get
the dodgeball is my personal favorite. It gets you involved. You know, it's not just crouching and jumping around. It's fun.
It is.
It's a lot of fun.
The river rafting is crouching and jumping. That's pretty much all it is. There's no other real motions in that one. Overall, it's a fun game. It's nice that it comes with the Kinect. It's not something I would have paid $50, which are what is the price of a standalone Kinect game right now, like Dance Central, for example, Kinect Sports, and all the other ones that are available right now are all $50 brand new. And this one is something I would not have picked up for $50 just off the bat. So it's nice that it's included to give a demo of the product that they put out. It's something that probably would have sold the same if it hadn't come with the game, I think. But it's a nice bonus. As for the device itself, it's cool to do video chat. It's cool to just have a camera and have it follow you. It's kind of creepy though. I feel like
it's kind of creepy, but it's very nice, and especially for people who aren't really into hardcore gaming, aren't into strategy or shooting or RPGs, anything like that. It's great to get the whole family involved, or just your girlfriend who doesn't want to watch you play, Oblivion all night long.
It's something that they can pick up. It's something that kids can pick up. It's not challenging.
Anybody can do it.
You don't want to Kinect. Do you recommend like this to someone? Like, would you pick it up yourself?
Yeah, I plan on picking one up. Especially, it's just it's like just like buying a game. It's like this. You have the games that you absolutely have to have right now, which are the big releases, and then you've got the things that can wait a little bit of while. Wait a little bit of time, and that's the Kinect for me. It can wait. But it is great, and I do plan on getting one. It's just $150 is kind of steep.
It is steep.
So definitely, if you get a gift card for anything, use it towards it. It's a great investment, especially, the Xbox isn't going anywhere. So it's definitely worth it, I believe.
Now you speak of $150 being a steep price. What is the price you would pay if it dropped to? What would you be sold on?
I would pick it up at $100. Just that $150 sets it over the edge, because I could buy an entire console. I could buy the Wii for $150.
That's true.
So, but the thing with the Wii is then you have to buy controllers. You have to buy the classic controller. You have to buy the little gun thing. You got to buy all that crap just to get it, and then plus the games. This comes with a decent game.
Now, if this game was not featured on the package deal that they have, and it was only $100, I mean, is that something that you think Microsoft should do?
Probably, yeah, actually. I think they should have included a sports thing to compete more with the Wii.
Okay.
But Really, I mean, it's a good game. It's something different that you don't see every day. But really, I mean, without the game and the Kinect at $100, sure. But $150 with the game, that really I don't think is worth $50. I might pay $8 for a used at GameStop. But nah, it's not something that I think really is worth the extra 50. So if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah. Basically, this was the game of the week and the featured device of the week. This is kind of a co-review, co-main game of the week, device of the week review. So from now on, I'm going to also include in game of the week Kinect games, since I have a Kinect sensor now. And I'll talk more about it. There's obviously going to be some really good ones and ones I recommend you avoid. I'm curious about Kinectimals. I'm sure you've seen that. I can't wait to review that, let's put it that way. That's going to be a fun video, so be on the lookout for that. I don't have a date planned for it, but
I'm really excited for Kinect Porn Stars.
Kinect Porn Stars.
That's going to be great.
That one is going to have a lot of hip requirements, so you better get your ab workout right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll come with accessories.
Total Gym.
Total Gym. Total Gym. Total Gym. Get Total Gym.
You get the beard with it, the Chuck Norris beard.
Chuck Norris.
I just bought one.
Chuck Norris Kinect. That'd be sweet. So yeah, that was the game of the week. I want to thank my co-host here, Paperclip, for joining me. Any last thoughts on the Kinect and Kinect Adventures?
But first, I want to say I have not been staring at your crotch the entire time. I have been staring at Kinect Adventures. So, but no, it's a good game. It comes with the game added bonus. They're not going to drop the price on the Kinect. When they do, I think they will take the game out, but I don't think they're going to drop it anytime soon. It's selling like hotcakes, you know. So, really, the game's a great bonus. You can open up the box and play it. You don't have to go out and shell out another $50 on a game and then pick something you're not sure of. So I think it's a really good option. So definitely, if you're looking to expand your system and not buy a new one, go.
Here we go. Here with Home Skillet right now, talking about Video Kinect, part of the new Kinect experience. Just going to ask him some of his thoughts on it. What are your thoughts, Home Skillet, on the Kinect video experience?
It does what it does. I mean, it's nice to see people like you I don't get to see all the time, so it's good to see you, so
it's good to connect with people, play on words.
Talk to people. I can be part of the party.
Of the camera, does it work well?
It works pretty good. We got our little Zoom features where it comes in and it'll follow you around.
So it actually tracks your motions.
Huh?
It actually tracks all your motions, as you can see here. It's pretty neat.
Blurry.
It's blurry. But I mean, it works. As for game content on this now, obviously the Kinect is more than just a camera. It's a gaming enhancement device, I guess you would say. It comes with Kinect Adventures. For $150, you get the Kinect in the game. What is your thoughts on that game?
I actually didn't play that one that much. I played Kinect Sports. I bought for, I believe it's $49.99. It's pretty decent. I actually prefer the Wii Bowling than the Kinect Bowling. I believe it's the Kinect is, I don't know, it's just so much harder to do.
It's not as responsive?
Yeah, it's just everything puts like a crazy curve whenever you throw it on it.
Okay. Now, do you think that's an issue with space for the Kinect, or is that just the sensor itself?
It's probably space because you're so crowded. We were trying to play with 4 people, and it's just, you're on top of each other.
Now, when you're playing with that many people, does it understand picking up multiple people, or does it have a problem with that?
You actually got to keep, everyone's got to keep stepping out of the camera view.
Ah.
So the first playing has to be front and center, and the other ones kind of have to get off the viewing grid.
Now, if you were to recreate the Kinect, design everything, how it works, how would you create it?
I think they got a good design for it. It's just, I don't know, it seems like it needs too much room to actually play these multiplayer games.
Okay, so that's what you would say is be the biggest flaw of the Kinect, the space needed?
Yeah, other than that, I mean, it's really responsive. It picks up better than the Wii, I think.
Now, compare it to your thoughts on PlayStation Move. Do you think it's better from what you've heard if you haven't used one?
I've used one. I just don't like having the snow cone in my hand. I like how it connects hands-free. I think it's better for kids.
That's very true. Now, what kind of game would you like to see come out for the Kinect that's not out already?
Oh my. Actually, I don't know what kind of game I would actually play for it because, I mean, golf. I'd like a frisbee golf game, but the snow cone's got it, aka PlayStation.
Okay. Any
So
other
then,
any
I
other
just
recommendations?
thing, so.
Any other thoughts on the Kinect device itself that you want to add?
No, I mean, it's if you have kids, I think it's worth it for kids. I think kids would really enjoy it.
Any memories already that have been created from this device?
One of my nephews are playing, what is it, the Connected Adventures. You get some pretty funny snapshots when they're playing.
Okay. Well, cool. I guess that's all we could really talk about in the Kinect. I mean, it's pretty basic from what they have out right now. This is just the Video Kinect feed. I want to thank Home Skillet. Any other recommendations? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Well, that was a great segment. Thanks for watching that. We're going to now close the Season 3 premiere. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Please, please, please tell your friends. Please subscribe. Do whatever you can to market this because I think this is going to be a great show, bigger and better than it was prior. I apologize for all the crap I put out before. If it was crap, if you enjoyed it, hey, sweet. Because this is going to get bigger and better than anything I put out before. I promise you that. This is a guarantee. So tell your friends, subscribe. It's just one click. It's right up there. I know you can do it. Come on. So you're almost there. Move that mouse a little bit. Come on. Anyways, if you do, I appreciate it. Otherwise, thanks for the view. You gave me one extra view. So tell your friends, find us on Facebook. There's a fan page. Box News Reviews. Official YouTube page is on Facebook. You can find that. So just like that. And I give a lot of my new updates on there. Find out how to get free stuff. I'm going to come out with merch eventually. So for all my subscribers, I want for you guys being there in the beginning, I want to give you free stuff. So once I get some things going, obviously you're going to be the first I contact and give free stuff to. That's pretty much it. So I want to think. Wait a second. We have a emergency video that we're being told to air. Let's go ahead and show that real quick.
This message is for the infidels. I am here today to tell you that I have all of the victims and pictures. You and your families can figure out who they really are. Starting off, number 1. Number 2. This one was really hard. Number 3. One of my really good friends for the struggle. Number 4. Number 5, can you guess? He put up a big fight, but number 6 had to go. I think he might still be around, but we're going to say he's number 7. All I know is I can give you a hint for this one. Moolah is your hint. No hint needed for this one. They're still looking for me. You might see this guy walking around Ann Arbor late at night. He sang very loud when I took him out with one shot. Can you guess who this is? My next victim, she was a nice one. You probably can guess who this is pretty easy, but the code is Applehead. This one put up a little bit of a struggle. His name is Kaput. And last but certainly not least, if you can guess, you get a prize. If you don't, you will become a sticker too. Figure out all 17, and you get the real prize. I won't show up at your house.
Well, that was an interesting video. I want everyone to be cautious this evening when you go out and about. Be careful not to become stickers, because that would be an absolute terrible thing, because once you take off your paper backing, you're going to be stuck to that thing, and it's not fun being removed. So be careful out there. There is a scary thing on the loose, turning people into stickers. As you see, there's been quite a few well-known people turned into stickers. So be very cautious. So I want to leave now with wishing everyone well, being safe, and thank you for watching another episode of Box News. Welcome to episode 73 of Box News. This week's game is Terminator Salvation from the movie Kinda. Basically, I'm going to do a quick review on this short episode this week, and there's really not much to talk about this game. Terminator Salvation is a very short 4 to 5 hour game on the hardest difficulty. It's a quick game that requires really no skill or effort. Basically, you are John Connor, leader of the Resistance. At the time of it, you are earning your commander status, and you just go help out and rescue people in the Resistance. Basically, it's a suicide mission. They say you can't survive the mission, and you fight just different versions of the Terminators. Not the Terminators that you're used to. If you've seen Terminator Salvation, you fight some of those machines from that movie, but you absolutely do nothing from the movie. It was obviously created without any idea of what goes on in the story of the movie, and any idea of the story of John Connor. It's just kind of like its own little story. You do things and shoot robots and go run through a linear map and shoot more robots and play 9 missions of shooting robots and eventually take down Skynet by blowing up computers. Spoiler alert, sorry, I should have said it before, but I think it's obvious what the plot of Terminator is: to take down Skynet. It's a third-person action shooter adventure. Basically, you run through, you get different guns, and you shoot robots. There's really no skill. It's not a great game. It's not a horrible game. It's worthwhile playing through for the achievements. There's 11 or 12 total achievements. 80 points for each level you complete, then the remaining points for the difficulties you complete them on. So it's pretty easy in a matter of 6 hours to get 1,000 out of 1,000 on this game if you're an achievement junkie. So check it out on the Xbox for that reason. Didn't play it on the PlayStation, so I don't know how it's different graphically, but I'm assuming it's the same. It's decent looking. It's average for its time. It's definitely one that I would never buy. If you see it in the $5 bin somewhere, pick it up for a playthrough and use it as a coaster afterwards, because you're probably not going to get much money for selling it to the GameStops or other pawn shops. It might be something that's a rare find 40 years from now, but it's not worth anything right now. So that pretty much sums up what Terminator Salvation was. Just like the review, it was a quick game, and there's not much to it. It's a third-person shooter. You shoot robots. Work with 2 or 3 other AI members, which is really nice. They help you out. They shoot the enemies for you, unlike other games. So I gotta give that an applause. That's really it. So it works well. It plays. It's not the greatest game of the year. So just wanted to give you a heads up on Terminator Salvation, the game. I got some really good reviews coming up soon. I got a couple people helping me out. One with Homefront coming up. I got some more Connect games coming up for review. Arcade games, music stuff, local music. I mean, I got all kinds of things coming up. So stay tuned for new episodes of Box News. Stay tuned for the new co-hosts. They have a lot of exciting reviews to give you. So please subscribe, if not for me, to help them out as well. And just keep watching Box News. Without 3D? With 3D.
I know LG's down now where they don't need the emitter anymore. It just looks like the glasses they give you at the theater.
Oh yeah, where it's like wraparounds.
Just kind of regular old-fashioned sunglasses.
Right?
Right. Right. Okay, we're going right again. Jump. Left into the thing. God, you smell.
Left?
Sure. Okay.
Is that a big clump, man?
Left there. There we go. Jump.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jump to it. What?
Here, let's hit this one then.
Jump. Let's go straight. Jump. 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 Left. Oh, right. Go left. Jump. Jump. Left jump.
Left jump. Left right kick.
No, where are we going?
Get over there.
Oh, I'm trying to hit him.
No!
Come on, man.
No, let's go for this one now. Yo! Left, right kick. Middle, jump.
That's right.
Okay.
Jump. Pose.
Pause.
Killed it.
Alright, welcome to episode 74 of Box News. We're going to talk about the game of the week right now, Connectimals, and why you should avoid it. Unless you're 5 years old, of course. If you're 5 years old and you're watching this on YouTube, you should probably have your parent or guardian with you watching my videos anyways. So have them take you to the store and get Connectimals, because it's definitely a game for you if you have a Connect. Anyways, why you should avoid it if you're a grown adult and a male. You play with kitty cats, bobcats, cougars, tigers, other cats. They're little baby cats and they have balls and they throw them at you. And you have to play catch with them and throw a frisbee with them. And basically you go and explore an island with a pirate treasure map and dig up buried treasure. And you do all these stupid motions when you hit the ball back at both legs. When you throw the frisbee, you do the very similar motion. And it's a very childish game. So I highly recommend that you stay away from it unless, like I said, you're 5 years old. Connectimals, I would rate on game quality with the motion control. I think it's very responsive. I think it's a good game when it comes to that. But like I said, it's a childish game, so it's really hard for me to grade it on a normal scale. But it works, it's functional, it's responsive. There's really no longevity to it. There's no replay value. You play through 5 different sections of a map, and then you unlock things. You go into a shop, you get coins for doing challenges. and you just buy things. It's a child's game. That's pretty much what Connectimals is, and I got some clips that I made for you. I had Aaron's help, and now I'm going to send you that. And just before I do that, thank you for watching another episode of Box News, and here's our stuff of Connectimals. News. This is episode 75. This week's game of the week is our first board game of the week featuring Aaron. He'll be talking about the game Pandemic and why or why not you should pick it up. Let's go now to Aaron and talk about Pandemic, the board game.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Aaron, and I'm here bringing you Pandemic review. All right. If you guys are into board gaming, you probably already played this a million times. It's very good, though. I like it. Where to start? The story is you are either a dispatcher, a scientist, a medic, an operations expert, or a researcher, and you're trying to rid the world of these infectious diseases. So, you all start in Atlanta, which is pretty fun, the A-town. In these little, you get these little things, these are your research stations, right? So, object of the game is to cure all 4 diseases in a given time. So, the way you lose the game is if your infection rate goes all the way up, which is given to you through cards that, epidemic cards, which will increase your infection rate, and that's how many cards you turn over and infect per turn. Or if your outbreaks go all the way to 8, then you lose the game. So the game is really playing against you, and it does do a very good job of that. So for instance, an outbreak would be these little cubes right here represent your diseases. Each spot can have 3. So if I were to draw a card and it says St. Petersburg, I have to place one there, but I can't. So it goes to each bordering city. Now if there are 3 of that color there, for instance, that goes again and will cause a chain reaction. So now it's going everywhere. So the game gets out of hand pretty quickly. It's really fun, and honestly, you can even play it by yourself. Just take a couple of rolls and attack. It's a lot of fun. They've got an expansion out on the brink which I have not checked out yet, but it looks pretty sweet because it comes with sweet little petri dishes to put your pieces in, which is kind of fun. And fixes the pawn problem. I don't know if you can see this, but the pawn is half the size of the board. So it gets kind of to be a pain when you have 3 people in the same spot. So, and plus, you're going to have your diseases there, maybe even a research station. As you can see, it gets a little out of hand. So, overall, the gameplay, I'm going to give it like a 9 out of 10. It's wonderful. The game plays itself at times. It's extremely hard, and you just can't do anything to win. And you can lose pretty quickly. The ease of just jumping in for new players is probably an 8 out of 10. It's really simple. Just it's overall a fun time. I give the game like a 9 out of 10 total. Definitely recommend it to anybody who's into board gaming. Anybody who just wants to have a good time with people. You're playing with each other, so there's no competition really. And all of the roles are pretty equally balanced, so if you know more about gaming, it doesn't matter because everybody can play this. You know, it's not that difficult. So hope you enjoyed. Check out our next episodes coming up. Make sure you post some comments and subscribe. Check you later. Hi, I'm Aaron, and I like long, challenging board games.
Welcome to episode 76. This is another board game this week featuring our host Aaron with the game Letters from Whitechapel. Let's take you to him now and find out why or why not you should get this game.
Hey, what's going on everybody? Aaron here again, bringing you another board game review. This time it is Letters from Whitechapel. This is by Nexus Games. They took on a lot of the Fantasy Flight games, so if you're familiar with board games, you know Fantasy Flight, really good games, good components, everything like that, and they're living up to it here. So this one is fairly new. It's a story of Jack the Ripper, and he's going through his cycle, and he's killing off all the wretched, all the hookers in Whitechapel in 1888, and you either play as Jack or the detectives. So if you're the detectives, obviously you're trying to stop him. And if you're Jack, you're trying to elude the police. This is a game, it's a deduction game, so you're trying to figure out where Jack is the whole time if you're the police, which can prove to be very difficult. All of the white circles are where Jack can move. All of the black squares are where the police can move. Now, the wretched pawns are only placed on these little red ones, and you start off with them there. And what happens is Jack either chooses to kill or to wait. And if you wait, the police get to move them closer to them. So really, I mean, it's this game. But also if you wait, down here is your move track. So every time after you kill, you will move on this track. So if you kill the second or third turn, you'll start from here. So it's a benefit right there. But sometimes you don't want to wait. Anyway, a lot of really cool components. The figurines actually look like little bobbies, which are pretty cool. They're wooden, and they're pretty nice. The Jack ones look pretty decent with the top hat on there. The only thing is Jack doesn't have a token because it is a bluffing and deduction game, so when Jack moves, he uses this. This is your little envelope that you get. So your opponents never see your movement, which is very, very cool. I mean, yeah, you could cheat, but not really, because if there are any little scratches on here, you're going to see if they cheated. You pick a hideout, which is where you have to return to after you make a kill every night, and then you mark down your movement. So, for instance, if your hideout is at 51, and you make a kill down all the way down at 147, you have 15 turns or 15 steps to get there. So you have special movement tokens, which will help you move along the way. This will move you 2. This one will move you across the block. So you have things to help you along the way. The police have an advantage, though, because there are more of them, and they can move 2 spots instead of the one that Jack gets. It's a very good game. Sometimes it's really hard to find Jack, you know, because he's not on the board, and you find these clues. If you get to a spot where he's been, they'll place a clue there. So you'll know, but you don't know really when he's been there, or, you know, if it was early on in the night, if he's just there, and plus you have to announce if you're going to make an arrest. So that gets really difficult. The rule book can be a little hard to understand at times. Movement was an issue with us, but it's pretty simple. So sometimes you just think too much into it. Just go with your gut feeling. You know, it's a new game. There aren't that many things online talking about it. So overall, the production of this game is amazing. 10 out of 10. I mean, the map is historically accurate. It's beautiful. It's big. It takes up my entire coffee table. It's great. The pieces are wonderful. The only thing are the clue tokens are completely clear. I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of hard to see on the board. So, and if you drop it on the carpet, you're SOL. So, everything else in the game are great. They've got really cool like letters from Jack the Ripper for another alternate type of the game. And they just basically send the police to different squares, which are pretty cool, and they're all made out of these really heavy cardstock, which is great, so they're not going to warp on you. You've got false clue tokens, and you know, you've got pretty cool little roundels here for placing your pieces. That's a woman token. That's how you bluff. You'll place these first, and then, you know, you flip them up. All that's in the rule book. I don't really want to go into that. If you're new at board gaming, not sure if I recommend it because it is a bluffing and deduction game. It's kind of hard to get into, so you really have to understand different strategies to capture Jack. Sometimes it's pretty hard to capture Jack. If I would recommend, definitely, like the rule book recommends having the most experienced player be Jack the Ripper, because it can get pretty difficult to capture him. So, and to elude the police as well, because you've got 5 guys after you. Anyway, great game, awesome game, good components. Overall, I give this game, for somebody who likes board games and is really into it, 10 out of 10. It's a board gamer's board game. It's pretty sweet. So definitely check it out, and check out all of our video game reviews, arcade reviews, and other board game reviews, music stuff. Check out Box News. It's wonderful. So it's good stuff. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you want us to work on. Have a good one. Start right here. Hey, what's going on, guys? Aaron here, also known as Paperclip 187. Just letting you guys know, you need to subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, we stop making videos. And if we stop making videos, we'll have nothing to do. So you really have to help us out there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you post your comments, and please subscribe.
Welcome to Box News. This week's featured game is the new game for multi-platform Mortal Kombat. It's basically like the original game. It's an arcade fighter. You fight 2 rounds to win, and you have health bars. Once that's depleted, you lose the fight. However, on this rendition, there's new finishing moves. There's some of the throwbacks, the old combos, the old fighting scheme, but there's basically new things added into the game. There's the X-ray vision button where you hit, what is it, L2, R2 at the same time, and it basically does a combination move, and it goes into an X-ray where you break different bones, or have, like, pull out knives and slam it into their thighs, into their face. I mean, it's a pretty graphic game. I don't recommend it for kids under 17. I'm going to throw that out there right now. But you just go into these pretty cool things, but they become not as cool as you can do them rather easily. You have a bar at the bottom, much like Street Fighter 4, where you charge up, and you're able to do these moves by pressing 2 buttons at the same time if you're in proximity to your opponent. It's, like I said, it's pretty cool, but it's just too easily done, and it depletes way too much health, where it causes you to win fights much more easily. The cool thing about the game, it has up to 4-player co-op, not co-op, but 4-player multiplayer, where you can pit 2 people against 2 people, and it's like Marvel vs. Capcom style, where you can tag in your opponent. Instead of having 3-on-3, it's 2-on-2, so you can do tag team fighting and tag in your opponent. Once it doesn't do anything for you, but it's all strategic fighting now for an arcade fighter. So it's a cool new attempt at reinventing the Mortal Kombat series. Basically, there's a couple other modes. There's a story mode, which has 3D scenes, basically like a movie. It reminds me of the Mortal Kombat movies. It goes through the characters' backgrounds, and you play as each different character in the fighting tournament, and then you go through that. Trying to think. There's online fighting. There's also the classic tower mode, where you fight opponents and work your way up the tower. It's basically like a updated version. It's basically what Hollywood does to old movies when they redo them. It's a remake of Mortal Kombat with new stuff that they weren't able to do on the Sega Genesis back in the day when that Mortal Kombat originally came out. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great party game. It's not something that I personally would spend $60 on at this time. But it is a fun game. There's not much flaws. The graphics are sweet. There's a lot of cool throwbacks if you're a fan of the series that you'll pick up on, like the little guy that pops up and goes oopsie when you do certain uppercut types, and it's just little things like that that make you smile after you're done playing the game. For newcomers, I recommend getting something to cover up your thumbs with, because you can get blisters if you're new to the series. And we have proof of that. Pro gamer Andrew Lana has blisters on both of her thumbs. So I'm kind of questioning her pro status.
I'm a button masher.
Button masher. But overall, Mortal Kombat is a fun experience. I give it I'm going to have to say an 8 out of 10. It's a great game. It's great visually, graphics, the storyline's pretty cool. It's cheesy, but it's cool. It's a lot better than Street Fighter in that series. And a lot of people are going to hate me. It's a lot better than Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay, hate mail, comments. Go ahead right now. Comment. Okay, thanks. Just make sure you subscribe to Box News, and there's a lot of new and exciting things coming soon. And check out the footage I captured. Here's some screenshots and videos and stuff from Mortal Kombat. Check it out.
All right.
Alright, welcome to Box News. This week's featured game is Epic Mickey for the Nintendo Wii. I'm here with pro gamer Andrea Lana, and she's going to tell us all about the game. First up, what kind of game is it?
I don't know that. I don't know the answers to those. It's a game where you play like Mickey Mouse and you run around and do stuff.
Is it what type of game is it similar to?
I don't know. it's got a mix of a whole bunch of stuff. There's a little bit of a side scroller in it. There's some RPG elements. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about all that stuff. That's your job.
Gotcha. The thing that I thought it was most like was like Super Mario 64 style, where it's a open world 3D gaming role playing game style. Like it's a throwback basically to that era of gaming, but on a slightly better graphically level. And that's just the what I got from the game. What drew you? What drew you to the game? Like what really?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's Mickey Mouse. Like, I just wanted to play it just to see like what Disney was gonna do with it. Just because they have a tendency a lot of times to be so childish in the stuff they put out, but this looked like something that would be interesting to an adult, you know.
So it's different than their previous releases for Mickey Mouse.
Right, because I mean, it's all kids stuff, you know, or it's stuff that's similar to shovelware or whatever, where it's garbage, but this game actually seemed like it was something that was going to be substantial and fun to play, so.
Yeah, because Mickey's had basically a lot of failures in gaming. It's not been a very solid gaming franchise for Disney. The only big franchise that they had was Kingdom Hearts, so this is their new step at reinventing Mickey to, like you said, adult gamers, somebody that's going to enjoy the experience, and kids as well would enjoy the experience. It's an all-ages game.
Well, it's a little scary for younger kids. Like, I wouldn't let anyone younger than, like, I don't know, 10 play it. There's some scary parts. Like, there's some, I mean, obviously I wasn't scared, but there are parts that would scare a young child. So,
Let's
I mean,
run through,
preteens and up, maybe.
Yeah. Let's run through quick. You finish the game. Let's run through basically the story and then what you do in the game. Like, what is your goal? And then explain the controls.
Well, basically, you're Mickey Mouse. You stumble upon this world that was created by the sorcerer. Everyone knows the whole sorcerer thing where Mickey puts his hat on and makes a mess and whatever. Well, this is kind of a play on that. The sorcerer creates this world using this magic paintbrush. Mickey goes in, screws around with it, spills some paint thinner on the world, and then gets caught and runs back to bed. Well, I mean, and then they go through this whole thing, and later this big blot of the paint thinner pulls Mickey back into the world, and his whole goal is to get out. But in doing so, he meets all these forgotten characters. He meets Oswald, the big character is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which was actually Walt Disney's first character, but the company he worked for took all the rights, so then he created Mickey and created Disney around that. But anyway, you go through, you can make choices to either be good or evil based on whether you use paint or you use thinner in the worlds. And you go through missions. I mean, you have to go into Ventureland, which is like Adventureland in Walt Disney World with all the pirates, and I mean, it splits it up into the way that Walt Disney World itself is split out. And you go and do all these missions, and in the end, trying to get back home. But in the meantime, you help all the characters that have been, their home has been ruined by the spilling of the thinner, which Mickey did in the beginning. So it's fun. I mean, you can paint things and make them look pretty, or you can thin things and make them look ugly, like they have been looking or whatever.
Now, throughout the game, there's also mini games littered throughout it. Basically, what I had seen from it was just 2D side-scrolling games. Were there any other types of games?
You mean like mini games or?
Not many. I guess the worlds that you enter, the films.
No, all those are the same. It's all a side scroller. It's all 2D side scroller. Or whatever.
Now those are relevant to all the past films in the franchise history.
Mm-hmm. Yep, like the very first one you do is Steamboat Willie, which is obviously Mickey Mouse's first film, but you do a whole bunch of them. Like you go into the one with all the ghosts. I can't remember what the name of that one is, but you go through a bunch of Walt Disney's old films that use Mickey and the older characters. Most of them are from the black and white era. There's not a lot of...
Now, how does that tie into the game? Like, what's the point of that?
Well, it helps you get from world to world. So every time you have to transfer from one world to the next, or one town to the next, you travel using the film strips. Come here, Boo. Come here. But, like, when you travel into Ventureland, which is the pirate level, the film strip is from something similar to that, because all the worlds in Disney are similar to all of the old films. You go into the Lonesome Bog, which is where all the ghosts are, and you go through that film strip where it's going to like the Haunted Mansion and stuff like that. So they tie in, like the film strips you go through to get to the different worlds tie into the specific worlds you're going to. but it's just like a little 2D stroller. I mean, it's like 30 seconds and you can get through it. It's really easy.
Okay.
It's an excuse to give you free like heart levels and the money that you can use to spend in the stores to get more stuff.
That makes sense. Basically, what's the replay value of this game then?
I'd play it again, just because I know there was stuff I missed, and I'd like to see how the story is different when you play evil. Because of course
There's
I
two
played
different
good.
outcomes you play.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's not just the general outcome of the game. Every little thing you interact with has a different way of. Like in the beginning, before I really knew what was going on, I just used thinner to spray something, and it fell on top of somebody, and I couldn't get something later. There's something in that world, I think it was Donald Duck's boat, that he had like a boat. I couldn't get it because I dropped this safe on this guy's head because I didn't know what I was doing. So like there's little things like that. Yeah, there's little things that you can miss or little things that you can get based on choosing good or evil and choosing to paint this or thin that or whatever. So I'd like to play it again. I mean, if we owned it, I'd play it again.
Anything you want to add about the game? Any reason why you recommend it to someone else?
Well, if you are going to play it, make sure you play well into it before you make a decision, because in the beginning it's a little monotonous. As you're getting into the story, like it's just basically showing you what you can do with the paintbrush and what your abilities are, and it tends to get a little monotonous. You go through, you paint this, you hop to stuff, like you don't really get into the story until you get into a certain part of the world. So if you're gonna play it, make sure you at least get into Oztown, because after that the story really starts to pick up. But before that, like I said, it's showing you what you can do, and it gets kind of monotonous, and you're like, oh, is this the whole game? But it's not. Once you get past that, it's much better.
Not bad.
Yeah.
If you had to grade the game 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Probably 9.
A 9 out of 10, almost a perfect score. Once again, want to thank Andrea Lana for coming and checking us out. Pro Gamer right here. Add her on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network when that gets back up again. Who knows on that?
Yeah. No mag.
Yeah, no mag, no Call of Duty, nothing if you have PlayStation. Sorry about that. But thanks for joining us this week. The game of the week, once again, is Epic Mickey, exclusive for the Nintendo Wii. They're in talks about branching it out on HD to the Xbox and the PlayStation 3. So we'll see. Obviously, keep you updated with the latest news on that if you're concerned or curious. Keep watching our stuff. Subscribe. And any last thoughts?
No. Subscribe.
Please subscribe. Thank you for watching Box News.
Here goes the compilation. Here comes the compilation. Happy Easter on its way. Here comes the compilation. Here comes the happy Easter's on its way. Hippity happy Easter's on its way.
Box News. This week's featured game is Fighters Uncaged, which is exclusive to the Xbox because of the Xbox Connect. This game, as you'll see in the upcoming footage on this episode, is kind of a joke. It's basically a prototype of what a fighting game should be. It's definitely not worth $50 that it costs currently. There's 7 to 8 stereotypical characters that you fight against, and your character basically has all these stupid one-liners. You stand in front of your Kinect, you basically flail your arms, kick, and it sometimes picks up on what you're doing and it hits the other opponent. Each opponent has weaknesses, however. Some have close attacks with knees and punches and jabs that you have to hit them with. Some have long kicks that you have to do to try to break them down and then win it. It's set up like a 2-round arcade fight, and once you deplete their health bar, obviously twice in a row, you win the fight, and then you get points scored on how well you do your combos, how well you do basically anything in the fight. Like I said, it does not pick up very accurately. I've tried in lit rooms, I tried in a darkened room, tried in different settings adjusting your Kinect. It just is not very responsive to your actions and what you're doing. So basically, it's kind of a flop of a game. It's a good idea, but they need to be more expansive on what you can do in the game, add story, rather than just stereotypical characters with one-liners that you fight and beat up and win and score points to get stupid achievements. That's basically what Fighters Uncaged is for the Kinect. I personally give it a 5 out of 10, just because it's a half good attempt at an idea, but the overall game does not function well as it should. It's basically a disappointment, and hopefully if they do choose to make a sequel to the game, they fix basically everything that's flawed in it. So here's some footage from Fighters Uncaged, and you get to see what the game is like firsthand.
Go.
And 1, 2, 3. Go! No! I threw my gun and yours won. Thank you. We like attack each other. We hit you boosting out of the way. I'm totally gonna lose because mine went under. Yeah, I know. You can't whip it. You gotta just drop it. He's like, boom! You're gonna be so light and gentle. This does not seem like this was very sturdy. I don't know. How shitty would that be if Jen could slip underneath it? That's mine! I won again! I won again! I don't know who got caught. Did I not make it? Oh wait, is that mine? That's mine. No, there's mine. Oh my god! No, mine's the one with all the stuff off of it. Oh. No, that one's mine. The first one's mine. Mine was longer than yours. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. There's Andrea's. How far behind your guys' side? I know that her plants. Screw the shit. Now you gotta pick a thin one. You have to pick a thin
Alright, welcome to Box News. This is episode 80, the Gears of War 3 beta. We're going to talk about the 4 maps that are available and the 2 game types that are available currently on this beta. This is a exclusive beta. If you pre-ordered Bulletstorm and purchased it the day it came out, you get a token to play the first week. And then if you pre-ordered Gears of War 3 multiplayer, or Gears of War 3, you get this multiplayer beta as well. But you don't get access until the second week through the 4th week. This does, however, end on May 15th, so pre-order Gears of War 3 now and you can jump in on the beta access. First off, the 4 maps are Thrashball, Checkout, Trenches, and Old Town. The two match types are Deathmatch and King of the Hill, and they can be played on all 4 of these maps. By playing each week, you can unlock flame skins for your guns that are available on all the guns. If you play week 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's different guns that you unlock the flame skins for. There's also some unique unlockables if you play enough matches as different characters and get kills. One of the unique ones is if you play 50 matches, you can unlock the new version of Cole, which has him in his football outfit and helmet. And then if you unlock him after playing 50 matches, you can then select him, and once you've played 10 more matches as him, you can unlock him in the retail version. Also, another thing, after you've played 90 matches in this beta, you can get the Gold Retro Lancer, which is basically the Lancer minus the chainsaw. It has a bayonet on it. It has different attacks and melees with it. When you charge, instead of holding down B to activate your chainsaw and slice through someone, with the Retro Lancer, you hold down B and you go running and spear someone with the knife, and then you just impale them and kill them that way, rather than slicing them in half with the chainsaw, which is pretty cool. But once you've played 90 matches, you unlock the Gold Retro Lancer. Once it's unlocked, you have to gain 100 kills with it, and then you unlock it in the retail version of the game. I don't know if there's going to be other guns that are going to be available to unlock in the retail version via exclusive the beta access, but there's just 2 things that are available so far, the Cole and then the Retro Lancer, Gold Retro Lancer. So be sure you get, once again, your Gears 3 beta code activated as soon as possible if you've pre-ordered the game. If you have not, go out and pre-order it now. Some of the things that I've noticed in this beta so far, there are graphic improvements. The game runs more fluid, it's smooth, it's better overall game than 1 and 2 was, especially, obviously, it's only online beta, so the online experience is more fluid, it's not as choppy. There's dedicated servers and migrating hosts, so it just runs better overall. So it's the online experience you've been wanting since 1 that's now finally happening. So they put a lot of work in improving the online. So for those people who wanted a great online experience, this is going to be the game to get for if you're a Gears fan. And I'm sure they're, obviously sorry for how kind of poor 1 and 2 was in comparison to what 3 is going to be. So definitely, as you can see here, this is some of the game footage. So it just runs a lot better. There's also execution improvements, more of them, with the new guns and different things. There's all kinds of new executions to do, and those run a lot smoother as well. There are more interactive environments, and there's a lot more that you can do within the game. The last thing, there's more customization in the game with like trophies and ribbons and different tags that you can get. So it's a more fun of an adventure unlocking these things, and it's basically like Call of Duty and Halo. It gives you bragging rights to showcase the things that you've unlocked and done. So if you're really good, you can brag that you're really good and have no life. So that's something to look forward to for all you hardcore gamers out there. Basically, just check out this footage I have. I have footage of all 4 maps, so keep watching. I have really nothing more to say about just 4 maps being played, so just want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Box News. Please subscribe, and I'll definitely give you some more information on this beta as it becomes available in the last 2 weeks of it. I'll do another episode in the last 2 weeks. Like I said, lastly, pre-order Gears of War 3. You can jump in the beta access. They give you a code on the receipt. It's easy. It takes 2 minutes to type in and download, and then boom, you're going to be jumping in and playing on the beta. So quick and easy, $5 pre-order at GameStop, and boom, that's it. That's all it takes. They get you the receipt. You can get home, play the beta. You got 3 weeks left, so get on it now. Once again, please subscribe, and I want to thank you all for watching another episode of Box News.